shot. Unfortunately, we don't have an update yet on how NoTail's feeling. So
He got some shots in the hospital and he's feeling better.
Does he actually?
Yeah, I heard from Anna
Okay.
last night that he should be playing again.
Okay.
So.
That will be good news because they need these points. They're in a tough position. They're not guaranteed like out if they don't get any points, but the way this is looking, there's actually a lot of teams that are making a good run here in the upper bracket as well.
It's so unfortunate to get sick just as you're about to play a very important tournament, a major that's going to allow you to go to the TI.
Yeah.
It's like the worst thing possible to happen.
And it's a best of one as well. And it's against EG. OG, EG, best of one. Oh,
I know. We just want full capacity teams. That's all we can really ask for, right?
Yeah.
We want them at their maximum strength to give us another glorious matchup of that match that we all love oh so much.
Yes. Do they give handshakes in the hotel games right now? I don't think we see them, do we?
I haven't seen them on camera. I can't recall.
Darn.
Probably for the best.
I think I saw Liquid after winning versus VP as I was going to the gym. They were entering the elevator.
Yeah.
They were like, yeah, we stomped them and just like that. There were no handshakes, nothing like that.
You were awake at 1:30?
No, the first game.
Oh.
The first game. The first game was around 11.
Well, you don't shake hands mid-series.
That's true, though. That's also true. It didn't sound very friendly, though.
It did not.
That's all I'm saying.
Hey, we got the winner elevator last night on the way home, right? So that didn't seem like there were any handshakes there, I don't think, versus Foreign and Fnatic. So, yeah, maybe the teams aren't seeing each other.
What did I say? Is this the elevator for the
No. We had the winner elevator. I didn't see the loser elevator.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It wasn't close. But I mean, speaking of yesterday, we had some amazing games. In case you missed it, we'll have a bit of a recap for you guys because it all started with the classic Virtus Pro versus Team Secret in the first round. And especially these first two games, were an absolute treat to watch.
A classic upper bracket matchup, but happening earlier than one would expect. And yeah, there was some clown across the two teams. You know, maybe not looking like a peak Dota across a few of our upper bracket matches. I mean, this game specifically was really interesting with the core undying.
Yeah, but the draft questionable in this game, but they still managed to play quite well versus VP. I think a hero that we will see more often right now is this Phoenix, a standout hero in both of these matches. Pasha was just amazing on him. Solo as well on this Barator, man. Like I don't think I've ever seen him richer in a game. He had like BKB, Vessel.
It was Roger that got the shorter end of the stick.
Yeah.
Roger carried the way definitely when it comes to buying boards and sentries.
And this game, of course, Yapzor with his 17th game this year for Team Secret since TI and 17th victory on Enigma.
That's you know, his teammate, of course, Zai, had one of those incredible win streaks for a long time on the support Wraith King. I think he was 16-0 or 17-0 before. I think he was 17-0 before he lost the game. Actually,
don't pick Enigma anymore.
Yeah.
This series actually just proved how close these two teams are. It's all about the draft.
Oh, look at that.
There we go.
You know, we skipped over game 3.
Yeah.
Because game 3 was an absolute beatdown. Not much to say about that. There were good lanes from VP.
Here we see some Meepo coming from We.
Yep.
Yeah.
Meepo and Wind Ranger.
I mean, PSG LGD, honestly, they had so many chances to close this game and win it, but for some reason, they were just throwing. And he had an amazing game on this, Meepo. They were dominating, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
they were supposed to win this game like 25, 30 minutes in with Meepo, but then they threw. And then PSG, they had some questionable movements. And GH.
The other teammates had to start stepping up in the late game, and that was all GH. Yeah. Absolutely incredible.
You can't, like, every now and then that guy gets a Magnus. And when you see it, you're like, oh, here we go again. You know, it's like...
God, they looked so relieved right there when they won that series.
Yeah.
And this was the match we were just discussing, the Foreign vs Fnatic. This was crazy. This was, it was 1-1 at like 2 minutes or something when Pilot Eye died at the top tower. And
I'm so happy I didn't watch this game.
That was the last kill for Fnatic.
This looks very sad. We were in the shuttle, or what happened? Or was Zaid?
Yeah, we were on the way back. Yeah, we were driving back, and basically it was core Spearbreaker for snaking, and he traded Firm with the Centaur in the bottom lane, and well, Spearbreaker starts moving across the map a lot faster than the Centaur. And they just took that into straight dominance.
You know the couch thing that you can see on Twitch?
Yes, the claps.
Yes. No, yeah, not just the claps. It also does pick power. This game, that best of one game, was the most one-sided pick power. Like that the statistics already showed that Forward had that in the bag. It was like 29 to 71 or something, which is crazy. Another best of one,
clearly better than our
course.
panel because they all chose Fanatics. So there
Did
you
they?
go. They did.
Did they
I can't really
actually?
blame them though. Yeah, the casters and the panel thought Fnatic were going to win that game, but
I mean,
makes
it's the
sense.
other panel though. It's not.
oh
us,
yeah, I mean
man.
it's
We
not
know
us. Obviously, that's the afternoon panel.
It's not
guys.
the 100.
Going for a best of one, you know, you want to make sure that all the moves you make are the correct ones. It did make for a little bit of a slower game, as said, but in the end.
Yeah, I believe we described it as a thrilling Naga performance.
Yes.
As per usual there. But that's just, you know,
Thrilling Naga performance.
cross your T's, dot your I's.
I mean, that is how the hero works, you know, that's how the hero thrives.
And this game, this, I don't even know what was happening in this match. AM versus Terrorblade, both of these heroes counter each other, but these two teams, they made, again, like for their level, they made so many mistakes. It's only, like you can justify it only by being so late and they were playing the whole day, right?
Yeah.
Because you'll see Anti-Mage, you'll see Miracle being 6-slotted and then dying to Ember plus Tidehunter or something. It was a troll fest.
It was a strange day for Miracle. I've never seen him make so many errors and mistakes before. He looked human.
In that game with
very
Vipo as
unusual.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
It can bleed.
I know.
Mistakes or not, they are a guaranteed top 3 team here at the Epicenter
And with
Major.
V, how important that is for them,
Yes.
for their confidence with a new player. It's insane.
Yeah. The TA doing work. And that means, well, TA was already added to his list of heroes, I guess, as TA Wind Ranger at the moment. And Meepo.
And his Invoker, hold on, we're up to 4 now. It's a lot of heroes. Guy's killing it. I'm not sure what else is going to be in there. Maybe the Mid-Earth Spirit will come back.
That
That's
game
what we're
they
all hoping
won,
for.
though. This is where they equalized, right? It was 1-1.
Well, I hope they didn't lose and celebrate like that as we.
Yeah, I believe they won that.
Yeah.
They equalized. But in the end, they lost.
Yeah, they did lose, and that means our brackets are as followed. Because upper bracket, you know, today again we'll know one of our top 3s already as well. We have the same type of schedule. But yeah, Liquid already waiting there in the upper bracket finals, and VP in the lower bracket. But that lower bracket match is played on stage, so they got the crowd to help them out at that time. But yeah, today we're gonna have 2 first upper bracket matches again: Vici Game and Gambit, TNC RNG.
And then later on, there's 2 other matches you guys probably don't care about.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
you know.
Best of 1 elimination.
Best of one.
That's not your
Nobody
thing.
cares about those. Those are losers. And TI winners as well.
Just a couple.
Just a couple.
Just a couple of them.
I mean,
We'll count
there's
the
3
coaches.
teams that won TI in playing today, you know? I count Alliance there too, even though it's just Loda there.
In lower
Yeah,
bracket.
he's still there. That
He's still
counts.
there.
Yeah,
This
he's
counts,
hanging out.
right?
All of these teams are in lower bracket, right? And anyway, there's Liquid as well.
Yeah. But today, you know what? The upper bracket is super important. Vici Gaming, Gambit, TNC, RNG, and 3 of those have not yet guaranteed themselves for TI. Vici Gaming did guarantee themselves for TI, so maybe they have a little bit less pressure. But we can check the DPC standings. We see TNC in there, but they are still in a position to get knocked out. Now, I think before we start talking about this, there are 2 things that you gotta know. Well, 2 teams, both Keen and eHome, they are not here. And especially eHome, they're just... Especially eHome is in a sinking ship. I think actually
As well
that
as-
because RNG and TNC are facing each other. Actually, no, eHome needs TNC to win that one.
Yeah, they want anyone above them to keep winning.
Anybody
That's-
above them has to keep winning for them to have their spot at TI.
So if Gambit wins, eHome is out, right?
If Gambit
That's
wins,
it.
eHome's out. If RNG wins,
wins.
eHome is out. Because if you win here, your top 6 is 900 points. Like, that's just from winning. So then you're already guaranteed 10th here. So TNC, even though, you know, they are at number 11, it's pretty important for them also. Like, this is scary territory for them as well.
But it's still upper bracket, so even
But
if
it's
these
still upper
teams
bracket, yeah.
lose, they still have a chance to knock out eHome afterwards.
And Gambit, we saw FNG talking about it earlier. If they win here, they do move into a more favorable position, but they don't get guaranteed TI until they come top 4. That being said, if you win here, you're probably through because there's a lot of ifs and buts and maybes. You need Alliance to go far. You need Infamous to do okay, or Pain, which is already no longer possible. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of scenarios. We won't bore you with all the details, but let's just say that today, Vici Gaming holds the faith of 2 of their Chinese brethren teams.
Yeah.
Because both Keen and eHome will want Gambit to lose. And yeah, RNG, unfortunately, your brethren will be rooting against you.
Just win.
Just
win.
Just win,
I mean, come on, it's Dota. Same thing as always. Buy dust, win. I mean,
buy dust,
what
win.
else is there to do? I don't really understand the problem here.
All right, so let's start talking about our first matchup of the day, because it is Vici versus Gambit, and I want to share with you another story. It's a very short one this time, because I was at Birmingham, and it was lower bracket, Vici Gambit. Everybody was having Vici as their favorites, and that's understandable because they are on paper the stronger team. And then the 2 games that followed were absolute beatdowns. Like it wasn't a close series, with Gambit taking the victory. My story is mostly about after that, because as you might very well know, RTK is a very vocal person, which we all know, and we all love him for it as well. He did not hit them.
He did not hit them. All
but
right.
the discussions, I mean, I don't speak Chinese, so it could have been a lot of tough love. You know, we don't know that, but it was definitely very audible.
Whatever
very
it was,
loud.
it was tough. Is that
And according to multiple sources, the conversation lasted for 2 hours. Conversation / lecture.
Yeah.
The general, man. Like,
The general.
How do you get out of that room? Like, you just sit there, you keep your head
Try and
down,
look as
and
small
you
as
just
possible,
nod,
yeah.
try to be small as possible, and that's about it.
It's but it's crazy now. Vici, you know, you would think they have a little bit less pressure because they did win a minor and a major. And you said yesterday, Trent, you think that nobody else is going to be able to do that ever again?
Okay, now I said 2 years.
2 years.
I didn't say
2
ever
years.
again. So yeah, but yeah, 2 years. I'm going with that.
All right.
That sounds pretty safe.
But do you feel like then they don't have pressure because they know they can win, and obviously you want to peak at TI?
No, they're vengeful.
Yeah.
They definitely have pressure. They want to like absolutely stomp Gambit here. I think they were dishonored a little bit there. I'd be feeling dishonored if I lost like that to a team that they probably didn't prepare for, honestly. And up until that event, Gambit were looking pretty shaky.
If
honestly.
you had to listen to 2 hours of tough love, man, like you
Yeah.
don't want that again. So
Don't let that go to waste.
I'm
you know?
pretty certain they're gonna try their best. I mean, obviously, but
Yeah.
at the same time, I really don't think that Gambit are favorites here, because if you remember the minor, ESL aside, if you remember the minor and all those games,
Yeah.
Gambit was just the stronger team.
You mean Vici?
Vici game.
I mean,
course.
that finals of that minor that Vici ended up winning was also indeed against Gambit.
Exactly.
But this is a new patch.
This is a new patch, and Gambit are a difficult team. And
Yeah.
definitely, if you let them play in their comfort zone, they can show up and win the series, for sure.
It could be. Would be. I think it will be an exciting series, regardless. And I'm sure you agree with me as well. And if you are watching, which you are, because otherwise you can't hear my message, make sure to let us know how you are watching on Twitter using hashtag EPICENTERGG and hashtag Dota2, and send in a picture of how you're watching, and then you have a chance to win Arcanas. We've got a lot of Arcanas to give away this week, so make sure if you want a piece of that action to tweet.
It's not the Lena Arcana, is it? I really hope.
I hope not.
I mean, let's be
It
honest
better be
here.
a good one.
Yeah, that would be really disappointing
Yeah.
if you actually
No,
won.
I know they have a whole list of them. So it might be someone might be as unlucky as to get a lead Arcana. It's the classic though. You know?
I opened one of those new boxes and got an ultra rare or some courier.
Yeah.
Check the Steam market, it's $50.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry, buddy.
that's life for
That's
you.
my sad story.
All right, so you favor Vici for this one?
I wouldn't rule Gambit out for sure, but I do lean towards Vici.
How about you, Trent?
I would say the same thing, honestly. I'm curious to see what Gambit's going to bring. I mean, their playstyle used to be incredibly one-dimensional, where they basically just picked Shadow Fiend or any other Greaves
That's
carrier
what they
for the
did in
mid
the
lane.
group stages too.
Yeah,
That's it.
they're kind of back to that, so I
mean,
don't know.
I
mean,
guess
it
the
worked.
patch works, you know, like
Yeah.
the patches change, their stuff works. They stuck together long enough to see things revert back to when they were actually really good.
Yeah, so the question then becomes, like, if Vici know that, you know, if they're going to prepare, one
Yeah.
would think a little bit harder this time. As you can see, he's already in there. RTK's
But what about their
Stroking
group
that
stage
chin.
performance, though? Because their group stage performance for Vici, they came top of their group and they did really well.
But
They dropped a game to Forward and a 2-0 Alliance. But one would argue that Group C, the one that Vici was in, was a lot more
Easier, right?
easy, yeah, compared to Group B. Because Gambit, they took a game off of Liquid. Sure, they lost, but they took a game off of them.
And they played versus
And then
EG.
they 2-0'd Infamous and EG.
Yeah.
EG
They
is
definitely had a harder run. I agree with you completely. So if it comes to practice in this patch, they definitely have had more in the group stages at least. So that's true. That's a fair point.
I've been reading the ticker at the bottom of our screen here, and I noticed that they claimed that 3 games in a row they have won with Centaur Warrunner.
Exactly.
This is true.
So this
and they
game
actually
is over.
have. Yeah, they have. They have done pretty well with
also,
that.
Gambit, they picked a lot of Crystal Maidens, so banning that out, Vici Gaming, makes sense.
Affects some other heroes as well. Just like, you know, try and go for a later Storm or something, or the Bristleback. Both of them just obsessed with that mana aura.
Grimstroke, however.
All right, that's my hero right there, that Grimstroke.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Gambit also loved picking that hero.
They do take the Warlock away. So Beastmaster versus, like, the Doom was still available, for example, but I guess just the Vision game of the Beastmaster opens up some different opportunities.
It helps out versus the Warlock, even though Warlock was picked into it,
yeah,
right?
It's true.
You can scout him, you can find him, jump on top of him, take care of him before he uses that rock. But this is pretty much, if you watch that interview that just happened, this isn't like these two teams picking their best stuff, their best heroes. It's just adapting to the meta. It's just playing the meta, and that's what it is. FNG said, like, we have to look at the other teams, what they're picking, and pick accordingly. Just adapt to this patch. And Grimstroke, Warlock, Centaur definitely have been picked quite a lot. Beastmaster, I know for sure, Afterlife loves that hero. So a little bit of patch, a little bit of comfort zone, I guess.
Yeah, it's a bit of a classic for him, for sure.
What are we going to see? Maybe some Immersion Earth Spirit next, or something similar. They already have this combo with Grimstroke.
Yeah, we did get the Earth Spirit Bandit in the first phase, respectfully so.
You're right.
I mean, that's...
You're right.
He's too good. I think he played it in both games, actually, that Vici lost to them
He's just
at ESL.
sick on that hero. He's really good.
But there's still all kinds of other position 4s, of course. I mean, the Tusk, we still have, like, the Shaker. The Spirit Breaker itself is also somewhat all right, depending, again, how many heroes you have to get back onto that Warlock, as you're probably looking for someone else who abuses the Vision.
You just want immersion on that brawler type hero, such as Earth Spirit. You want him up front. You want him... Yeah, you can give him heroes such as Dark Willow or something similar, you know, something squishy.
Like a Rubik or something,
A Rubik, yeah, but he really does not excel with those types.
But the last time Gambit picked Grimstroke, they put it on immersion. They had immersion on it.
They have flexibility for sure.
I like it for FNG just because of the GPM talent, honestly.
Yeah.
Easy wards.
He just buys so many.
Yeah.
So, and I agree with you. I love Grimstroke on position 5 much more than on position 4 because you have the ability to constantly farm and push out the lanes, which is going to give you gold. And then also you have the 90 GPM talent, which allows you to just scale a bit better as position 5. And you're always going to have an item or two, at least 4-staff Glimmer, something similar. Well, if you're position 4, you can get the same. Perhaps you can get the Hex faster.
Or the eggs, too.
Or the eggs right now, which is definitely valuable. Jug has been banned out, Troll as well, and Morphling.
Yeah, a lot of our position ones just fall by the wayside. Really, Wraith King, of course, a pretty big hero. Both these teams, Gambit...
I haven't seen a lot of Wraith King, though.
Yeah, Gambit very famous for playing it. Vici played it in one of the games that they lost to Gambit.
Gambit loves that Wraith King, as you just said.
Yeah.
One of their combos is Wraith King, and then something really... some glass cannon in the back.
Like very active mid-game sort of deal. Yeah.
Or they pick that Wraith King to just create space for an OD or something like a sniper.
Yeah.
They play around their map very well. Defensively, they're a really strong team. But then again, they're also very known for that super early aggression with Shadow Fiends, Vipers that you mentioned before.
So that's probably an FNG Brewmaster, right?
Yeah, well, they played it both on FNG and Afterlife, but yeah, against EG, they used it against...
So that's the Mass Dispel versus the Fatal Bonds.
Oh yeah, that's that one.
That's what that is.
That is.
Wow, all right, we're just flying through.
Look at that Wisp Gyro coming in so fast.
Is it me or does Gambit's lineup look super sturdy?
It's very beardy. Everyone's got a beard. They are not having any job interviews, you know?
I must say, I have noticed an increase in facial hair amongst Dota 2 players and talent.
Yes, I saw the Naha's beard.
Yes.
Yes. I believe he's very obsessed with Geralt of Rivia, from what I understand, and he was extremely excited.
Give that guy long hair. He's...
Exactly. I think that's what he's aiming for, so I'll just give him the pleasure. We'll just start calling him Geralt all the time. Perhaps the Witcher.
He's on the panel with us. Like tomorrow, we're calling him the Witcher, all right?
Sounds good.
Yeah. Wisp and Gyro. This is a really good second phase pick from Vici Gaming. Their two supports are very passive, but we saw yesterday just how much Liquid could do with Wisp and Oracle. Perhaps Vici Gaming can do similar things with Warlock and Wisp.
Man, Gambit are pretty fast, though.
However, Wisp and Warlock, they're not the same like Wisp and Oracle. You can't save one another. You know, like you don't have Oracle to false promise.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you can golem.
You can golem, that's true, but then you're already using a golem to save your support, which isn't optimal.
Does Roar knock back enough to break the tether? I don't think so, right?
No.
It probably depends. Maybe,
I mean,
maybe there's some instance where it could work, but yeah, I'd say unlikely.
Lone Druid.
50%, perfectly balanced.
Puck man, yeah, Puck's pretty solid one. Like someone to D-push a little bit and could have
They need some catch,
up.
right, on Vici Gaming. They have the Centaur, he can get a blink, they have Stampede, but they definitely could use some more catch, something to get on top of the Gambit's lineup.
And Ori played a brilliant puck against the Lions in the group stages.
At the same time, what are they missing? They're missing their midder on the side of Vici Gaming.
Yeah.
And they banned the Queen of Pain themselves.
That's profit. All right, so they're going in a different direction. Just a stable hero that's up front that they can push around. That's going to allow this Wisp and Gyro to just relocate in when the defensive movement from Gambit starts. And it's going to allow Wisp and Gyro to just farm on their own while these other three heroes do their own thing. If they're necessary, they'll relo in.
All right, so our Lone Druid is more than likely not heading to the mid lane with the DP pick, right?
Yeah.
Probably for Dahak on the side. What does Aflin want here that he can play? Like he needs kills with a Beastmaster with the Roar and stuff. And a Grimstroke, like a Lina-esque hero looks pretty good here.
Lina wouldn't be that bad. Not
versus
bad.
the IO.
How about a Leshrac?
The Leshrac. I mean, I like that idea in the terms of just like pushing this game down because I do think there's time to punish.
Storm, however, is a perfect pick, and I love this.
Storm versus IO and Warlock. Oof. Beware support heroes.
Yeah.
Your days are numbered.
Death Prophet can be a little bit difficult to deal with. The AoE silence forces you to get a Yules or BKB, whatever. But at the same time, you want to get on top of Warlock and Wisp, and you have the Hawk always.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have a lot of vision, and it doesn't look like a hard Storm game at all. Like there isn't a lot of control, so it's good.
And both of you thought Vici Gaming would have the upper hand coming into the series. Now that we've seen the draft, do you still stand by that? Or is this draft convincing you the other way?
If AFO goes ham, if his Storm has a good time, I think Vici do not have a chance. But at the same time, they have Wisp Gyro and they have the Death Prophet. If they start this early aggression with the Death Prophet with the ultis taking one tower after another, perhaps that Storm won't even come online. But I'm going to go with Gambit anyway. I like their draft a lot.
I made the mistake against going against the Liquid IO Gyro.
Yes.
That was foolish. And I will not do it this time. So, yeah, I will go for Vici Gaming. I think they can do it.
A split panel. That's the way... That's the way we wanted to have, because both teams do have a good shot here in this first game of the day. Before we head over to our commentators, let me just remind you that Twitch is our official broadcast partner, and we are very thankful to have them on board. Almost as thankful as we are for having ODPixel and Fog joining us for the first series.
I love you, OD.
This is Vici Gaming. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm ODPixel, I'm here with Fogged, and we're going to see if indeed this is a bit of a brilliant Storm game. The panel were a little split, they didn't necessarily think so, but I got to say, it does look good, bro, for this Storm pick. There's not a lot that's going to hold him down. Yeah, looks good for a Storm game as long as he can get online, get some items, because I do think this game looks like it can go in this weird, like, both ways, because the deep push on the side of Vici is not there. They only have, They have Death Prophet Nuke, and that's pretty much it to actually wave clear for when the tower pushings comes. And when you're playing versus a Beastmaster Lone Druid, you're expecting there's going to be a lot of aggression coming out from Gambit. So the one thing is also, though, I look at sometimes, especially like team like Vici, instead of actually having wave clear, I saw they double down and they like triple down full team fight. So they're just going to look to fight on the towers rather than try to like stall them out. So I think that's what they're going to do, just straight battles and tier ones. Well, let's see how it does go and if they can get that pace that they want to, Gambit. Yep. You say a lot of power, that brew pick as well. Everything's going to be good to go once you see those level 6s being hit. Yeah.
and limited disables, like they were saying for the Storm, there's an IO Warlock. When you see the supports having 0 disable, that's always when you start screaming those spirits. Your Ember Spirit, your Storm, Ember's getting banned like every single game. But so we do see this brew, of course, picked from FNG. I know panel talked about it. Trent was saying that AoE Dispel, it's excellent versus Warlock. It's definitely a good game for it here too. It's always nice versus Gyro and IO too. I think we've been seeing this a lot now lately. These Centaurs just walking up and tanking and getting some retaliate stacks at the start of the game because they just get the HP regen anyway.
Well, let's see. But I mean, I really am having trouble seeing where sort of this falls apart for a Storm. Honestly, because like the only way this Storm dies is if he overextends, he runs out of mana. Like nothing else is going to catch him out, right? He's going to be dodging home in missiles. You do not get caught out by a Centaur who's Stomp unless you're sleeping. You know, like it's the silence, the DP silence maybe, but at that point that the silence is skilled up, he's working towards his Yules, you know.
I think the sustain is the thing that I look at. I know a lot of people always talk about Blitz was one of the big ones who always said he doesn't like playing versus it when there's a lot of healing and stuff.
So you feel like you're jumping targets, but you're not necessarily going to kill them.
I think it could happen. If the IO gets a mech and you see Storm jumping in, it could change a lot of it here. Paparazzi's getting slowed down quite a lot.
They put the Fairy Fire and that will keep him fine. They'll turn their attention towards Fade though.
He doesn't get the distance from the tether and
they missed the stroke.
This stroke does miss. That could have actually been a kill if it did connect.
I think that would have. The damage and the slow should have been enough for them to follow up and get that kill. But they don't get it. They will get the bounty runes down there.
Cool. We see them. It's a lot of shared tangos coming out here in this game. We see the Gyro had 2 shared tangos and the Death Prophet had 2 shared tangos. So Warlock probably bought a ton of regen to be able to give out to have that extra. And that did not look like a normal situation there from Ori. He just randomly nuked the floor.
Uh-oh.
He just carried, right? Yeah. He just crypt away.
He did. He just threw out a Cryptswell. And we go.
Hey, that must have been like his button got pressed down. He has maybe auto cast or something, or quick cast. I don't know. He literally just nuked the floor. So we see both mid laners do have that mid ward, so they will be able to at least like trade hits whenever that does come out onto those high grounds. DP will have a little bit more of a better time with that harassment in the mid lane.
Sure, but I guess a bit Storm in Storm, he's going to have that neutral camp that.
Yep.
You can clear that little bit easier. No worries. Just trying to get the value out of the Sal. Make sure he's as low as possible before pops in.
Ooh, he got the range creep deny. Afo committed a remnant for it too. That's pretty big. Top, we see the bear actually gets linked to his hero. Has to be a little bit careful there. Just some extra damage that does come out from it. Yeah. But bottom lane should be pretty good for Gambit. They should have a pretty good time down here.
Yeah, they can definitely put the pressure on.
Yeah.
With this lane that they're ever so good with this Beastmaster Grimstroke combo. A lot of spam that they can just keep these heroes low.
I've seen this Paparazzi Gyro with the IO combo though. These two rarely lose with it. They're incredibly good with the way that they discipline and hold the lane, and then they just turn it on you. And they're already, they're starting to get those last hits built up on Paparazzi as he usually does. That guy's like the last hitting king.
And with the lanes as they are, do you sort of agree that for Gambit it is best to have FNG up in this top lane? Like, can you not just leave Dahak on his own? Or would you rather FNG be here rather than sort of trying to force some sort of weird tri-lane down bottom?
The thing is he has Brawler, or he has the Drunken Haze level 1, so it's like his damage doesn't really contribute too much. I don't think he does anything down bottom right now. Maybe once he gets like level 2 or 3, he might make the rotation, but for now staying up there is perfectly fine. He can do pulls, he can actually get levels. He can not tri-lane sap experience with the Beastmaster. Probably isn't the best.
CS at the moment is the Beastmaster down bottom that's falling a little bit behind.
Thought he would actually be able to get a decent amount with the way that they started the lane in particular.
Yeah,
they forced a lot of regen.
Especially, against the Gyro, as we've seen, Gyro, very terrible base damage. So in terms of getting the CS, it's normally hard, but he's making it look easy.
It might be because of
It
might be because of those shared tangos that I was mentioning. He did have the double slipper, double branch build, so he has that he has that extra little bit of damage, that 8 damage bonus. That's giving. Look at this, 15. I think
that's not easy as a Gyro against a Beastmaster Grimstroke lane. This is Paparazzi with that prioritization, getting those extra bit of stats, relying on the IO.
Yeah.
For the regen, it's paying off. He's getting beautiful farm here.
Yeah. It was the same thing we mentioned yesterday, where it's like these Beastmasters and Centaurs, and they're melee heroes, so they just have this like incredible animation. Gyro also does have a pretty much like not a melee animation, but it's so quick the way that the projectile travels. So he's getting like everything here. This is the dream start here for Vici, I would say.
Absolutely, because we've seen Gyro IOs have brilliant games where at this point the Gyro's got like 10 CS or less than that.
Yeah.
But this time around, this is a Gyro IO lane that's getting free farm.
I haven't seen if he's gotten any boars yet. I don't think he has. Now he's going to flag push the wave out a little bit. Needing a little bit of harassment, though, but they do have more than enough regen, it seems. On the IO with that south. Anybody else pulling behind here? We see Stormspring in the mid lane is starting to fall a little bit behind here. Ori, kind of to be expected. You know that you have that extra range. You're always going to be able to get the harassment with the Crypt Swarm as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's almost certainly going to be able to catch up and keep on par.
For sure.
With the neutrals.
Those denies hurt, though. 10 denies. That's quite a lot versus a Storm. Only 3 on the Storm Spirit. And now he's going to deal with the rune. Ori has an illusion rune as well. That is not a fun rune to play against.
No, not at all. This is one of the best for every deny. It's going to be there. As soon as that creeps at half health, Ori's going to be able to just take it down with the illusions.
I mean, he's bullying him. He's just giving him the right click right now. He also has a glyph when the creep wave goes under the tower if he wants to do so to put some more pressure on his bottom. Paparazzi's dropping low.
Oh, they got the damage. The bottom not quite. Trying their best there, but Paparazzi still top of the CS. Creep wave coming in underneath the tower. It's more than fine. Fade's able to heal up Paparazzi. Not missing a single one of them on this Jara.
A quiet start. Are we going to have a first blood on a bounty?
I feel it.
Feeling it.
Down bottom. One of these two is going to be in trouble. Fade. They're going to go on him in the X-ray. In fact, no, it's up top as well. DY does get dragged in. Afro Ninja makes the move up towards top, and that will get him first blood. The bounty ring. Yang's going to come in with the Who Stomp. See if he's got the damage. Yafo, he's got the Fairy Fire, turns around and slowing him down. He's trying his best to get away. Can he do so? Oh, he cannot. Yang will get the kill. FNG's going to chase him down. Does not have the move speed to keep on top of him, so Yang will escape. So, well, first blood for Afro Ninja and a bounty rune. Does end up losing his life. He's probably still okay with that, though, if you get the first blood and the bounty.
Yeah, looked okay. Looked all right. Not fantastic, because now that mid pressure comes out near level 5 Storm.
Bottom. Oh, they want that Paparazzi Jar. They're not getting it. They're not getting him.
My God.
He's staying alive. This time, they do get the kill on old Akko J before. Back towards mid, Ori. It's now the focus. Fatal Bonds around.
Oh my God.
The Fatal Bonds and the Crypt Swarm across the entire creep wave. Just wiped FNG off the face of the earth.
Continuing to get that tower damage harassment.
Good pressure. 6 minutes in, about half the tier 1 tower done.
Yep. 3 cores farming, excellent. I think giving that Centaur that top kill, it's pretty painful, to be honest, because now he's got this nice setup where he's got his phase boots finished up early on. They can actually continue to look to put pressure onto Dahak here too. He's gonna have an early level 6 off that kill. Yeah, Beastmaster, I mean, Afterlife really falling behind.
Yes, it was. And as I said, I think this is really just sort of the play that's sort of setting this apart. Because I don't know, though that dual lane versus dual lane, do you think most of the time it goes this well for the Jara Aya?
I mean, I don't think they should like die or anything, but I mean, the last hit wise, I think Beastmasters just have more. That's all. Because there's animation and base damage, but they definitely have had a great time. Just that extra little bit. I mean, Jara's if you time it right, you know.
Top FNG.
Got the 2 points.
The slow, the fear, stopping his sort of stunning response. Ones are going to be out onto the neutrals and onto the Hack and his bear. Yang chasing him down.
Oh, you didn't correct me. I called it Drunken Haze before. It's Cinder Brew.
Oh, yeah, you confused me. What year is it?
That's twice now. I'm messing up names.
Yeah.
See those ward priorities set up here by Gambit. They're trying to protect that top lane. They put one on top of the shrine, so seeing if any type of like TP play comes out and then there's looking like a smoke into a wraparound and getting the Lone Druid, because Lone Druid can still die very easily if you get the wraparound behind him. So they will protect the mid lane as well as that top lane as best as possible for now.
All right, we're going to see them out a third hero down bottom. Both teams now bringing 3 heroes down here. DY is going to join up with Fade and Paparazzi, but at the same time, Gambit, they've got FNG down here as well.
There's a Stampede on line 2. That's the one thing you do have to be concerned about. If you do make an aggressive move, it can get turned on you.
I mean, Paparazzi's just going to head straight in. FNG will reveal himself. They'll now pop the Stampede, allow Paparazzi to break away and get back in. It's good Fatal Bonds on 2 of them. Rocket Barrage of the flag pushing them back. As Vici Gaming will hold the lane. Gambit will be forced back for now. Spot the eyes onto the regen rune. They'll be able to grab that on Alpha Ninja.
It's a good aggressive move by Gambit. They tried to force something, right? They at least forced the Stampede in a rotation, but now FNG needs to make the long trip back to base, and he has to walk out for base because he TP'd bottom to make that move. So a little bit of time wasted there for FNG.
We've talked about sort of Gambit's ability to get the push and early fights together, but you know, you gotta certainly consider with Vici Gaming's lineup as well. If they start to group up and push with this Death Prophet Gyro,
Oh, yeah.
it's a very easy way for them to take towers and make it very hard for Gambit to actually come forward. And as soon as they come for a defense, they're going to be bonded, flak cannons out, and they're losing half their HP before they're even able to get in on the front lines and start the fight themselves.
Yeah, I mean, Vici has so much more team fight. It's not even close. Like, you look at Gambit and you're like, oh, but they have a Brewmaster. It's a 5-position Brewmaster. It completely changes everything about it. Vici, I think, even if this 5-position Brewmaster, that thing could die. There's Flat Cannon, there's Death Prophet Exorcism, there's a Centaur with this high Retaliate. They could look to kill those Brew, you know. So, yeah, Vici definitely has the way overwhelming team fight in comparison over Gambit. So I do think they're just going to look to fight at every single one of those tier 1s whenever Gambit tries to push. And I think that's their game plan. And Gambit getting this like slow start here in the laning phase here a bit. Even though it's only 1K, it hurts because they want to be very aggressive, get that good early start so they roll and take out those early tier 1s with the Lone Druid and Beastmaster. But it's going to be delayed a bit here.
Now, for Gambit, you'll really start to see moves happen once FNG has the 6, and when FNG sort of got maybe the first item and he feels confident of following up any sort of initiation from this Grimstroke Beastmaster combo. You know, if you get a raw target and you get that storm in with the Inkswell, they're going to be able to get the pick-offs. They are going to look towards Paparazzi, gets the cooldown after FNG, just gets blown up at the front of the fight. Old Aqua JB4 uses the raw onto Fade, but there's no follow-up whatsoever. A bit of a useless raw there, as now he'll just be chased down and he's dead. He had a tough time in lane, and now making a poor decision. Cost him his life, double kill for Paparazzi.
That was a really weird play by Afterlife. His whole team looked like they were like, let's focus the gyro, and he just ran. Maybe someone calls and says, like, try to lock down the IO so he can't get the heal or the relocate, but
maybe
he chased so far. Afo, though, on a high ground, he with some remnants prepared.
He has surprised Ori, but Ori, he's got the one down, the Verify is now able to turn and push Alpha Ninja back. He's got enough mana to keep himself safe as he zips down to the low ground. Not able to get that kill, which would have been a big one. Space is there for Dahak up top, as he's pretty much the member of Gambit that's having the best of times. Giraffe Ninja's not too far behind, but it's just the fact that all 3 cores of Vici Gaming are looking very strong at this moment.
Yep. Trying to get some smoke out. They have the Brew 6.
They don't
no
have
roar available.
Yeah,
Storm is healing.
Seconds.
See, Afo is healing, so he can port down with mana to be able to help his team. No Exorcism available. No Stampede available. There is a Chaotic Offering, though.
Some stacks here for Paparazzi and Ori to clean up. Paparazzi's game continues to look better and better on this gyro. They'll find DY.
Should be able to get this one.
He's got the bonds and the golem, but yeah, there's not going to be any backup for him. They'll just accept the support loss. That's Gambit able to at least find a kill, but it's not a core. It
gets in this tower, though.
It does, yeah. Dahak's been able to move down, push on. But the Mask of Man is built and will be going for the Radiant Spare. This game, Relic queued up. Long way to go, but...
Good move by Gambit. I think this invasive play is extremely necessary. You don't want them to set up to look to fight them. Because you look at their lineup, like I was talking about, Vici, they want to fight those. That move by Gambit makes it so that there's no way that Vici can fight down there. Because if the Warlock can maybe set up and they can set up with other heroes, they have a chance. But they didn't have Exorcism, so... But it's good play there by Gambit. They get some deep aggressive wards down too.
Is this standard? Am I crazy?
What's that?
Paparazzi's going phase Ags straight. Is that's... I mean, he's got a Blade of Alacrity and he has the Aghanims queued up.
He has an IO with him. But the IO, it is level 20, which takes some time.
It does take time. I mean,
I don't know. Maybe he wants to be tanky. That's the only thing I can think of.
Maybe he's memeing. We'll see. But yeah, that will be interesting to see that. Yeah, he values the Ags that much that he does not want to wait until the 20 on the IO. He just wants it. He wants it ASAP.
Interesting.
Because we haven't seen that before. When we see Jaro IO, have we ever seen a Jaro go phase Ags when he has an IO in his team? I don't think so. But Paparazzi, he's the man.
Yeah, I'm thinking he just wants the stats to be able to be tankier so that he can like rally around. That's my imagination. If he does commit for the Aghanims, that is.
Look, he's got it queued up. They will lose Fade. They are able to be caught out as Alpha Ninja's able to zip in and grab him back. But yeah, maybe he's just your bait. Maybe he's just going to get something like a Yash. Right, he's not spending. Is he going to grab Point Booster? No, he's holding on.
Nope.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, you know, it does stack. Double Ags. If only.
If only.
If only.
2 side gunners.
2 double side
That would be actually so insane.
I mean, dude, maybe he knows. Maybe it does. No one's ever actually done it, so who knows?
No.
Valve is watching. They're like, oh shoot.
Well, then what if you build an ag and eat an ag?
Does that what double side gunner?
What if you eat an ag, have an ag, and get the
Triple
IO
side gunner?
Could happen.
My goodness.
So continuing, they're trying to keep this pressure up top with the gyro and the IO. They're going to bring the rest of the 3 heroes bottom on the side of Vici, and they can do the relocate plays to join into the fights. Gambit is not all positioned down here. It's actually only 3 heroes right now at the moment. So they will see it. They will see the Storm Spirit in the mid lane.
I mean, he's committed it. Yep. He's doing it.
All right.
It's going to be one of those things that if they lose the game, you're going to go back and say, why did he get Ags first? But,
yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean? Like, there's a reason why you don't do this when you're playing Gyro.
These roots. Centaur.
He's fine.
Tanky.
He's starting to add up. Yeah, old Aqua JB falls in with the brawl. They do get the golem out in return, but with the Stampede gang, he's actually staying alive. He's able to get out of there, and indeed Paparazzi coming in on the front lines. Fade with a beautiful relocate, getting the fight back into the hands of Vici Gaming as they'll take down Immersion. The rest of Gambit having to run away. FNG dying during the split. The rest of Gambit just have to do their best to hide. Old Aqua JB before going for the TP out with the rocket barrage. Oh, they don't quite have the damage. He is able to get away. But Vici Gaming coming in and shutting Gambit down as they try to desperately get that kill on Yang, but he's just too beefy on the Sensor. Yeah,
he actually just survives. He gets the Shadow Word heal on him. They get the full turn. Like we were mentioning, they're going to look for taking those fights. You know, they have the IO gyro set up on the opposing side of the map, so they can look for that. And they still have Exorcism, too. Gambit.
I mean, yeah.
Bit over-aggressive there, looking to go for that Centaur.
What is the other level 20 talent on IO again? What Fade could get if he doesn't... He's not going to need to get the Aghanims one, is he really?
Is it a GPM one?
Is it? I can't remember. We'll see.
Because they swapped them, so I
they moved them around.
Because I know it's plus 75 spirit damage at 15. I think it is GPM.
Maybe that's the play. Get GPM, get a Hex, later on. It's always nice for the supports that have sort of those GPM talents. The higher value ones. 7 for 3. Not a lot of kills this game, and it's still very close. 1k, 2k advantage for Vici Gaming in the jungle. Gambit. They're going to find Jan. We'll see if they're able to kill him off this time, or he's there with the backup, though. And as soon as they see that Death Prophet waltzing in, Gambit know not to stick around any longer. They learned from their mistakes last time, diving that tier 2 tower for the Centaur.
Yeah, and it's a level 12. Yeah, level 12 Death Prophet who probably has the full iron finished up. So yeah, don't go for fights around that. And it is 150 GPM at 20. So
okay.
I didn't get that wrong. Good.
Oh, we'll see if he gets it. And we'll see about on the Death Prophet. I mean, I imagine you will be buying the Ags, right? Aghanim's Death Prophets.
Maybe that's why he's buying the Ags, because he's expecting to not be tethered.
Maybe that's
it. And he's just going to be tethered to the Death Prophet the whole time?
Yes.
That is probably the only other thing that I can think of.
But then you're not tethering the gyro.
But he's got an Aghanims already for himself. It's like he's trying to be tanky, and he's trying to not to be the main Aghanims target. That's the only thing I can think of.
Okay.
I don't know. Let's see, does he take 250 health as well? He takes the damage. So I guess maybe with the Aghanims, he feels tanky now.
Yeah, because I was going to say, it was interesting that, because as we were saying yesterday, at least in one of the games when Miracle plays the gyro, he took the 250 health.
He was playing versus a lot of burst damage.
He was against like the FY Quap.
This one, there's some, not
there's no sort of big magical burst.
Yeah, it's like Stroke of Fate and a zip.
Like it's damage that is going to come out in the same amount of time that Fade's able to provide heals, or Shadow Word's going to be pumping you up.
New record.
Faster than the patch fastest. Only 7 matches where it's been picked up, and as we say, not really a surprise. Is I wonder how many of those matches where an Ags was picked up, there was an IO in, and I'd probably hazard a bet that there wasn't any game.
Yeah.
That the gyro bought an Ags when he had an IO on his team.
Who knows?
Maybe there was one. Maybe Paparazzi did it before.
Or he's queued up an Aghanims as well.
They just don't like the IO.
They don't like the IO Ags. It takes too long. It just takes too long, and they want the Aghanims faster on themselves. Sure.
I mean, I can absolutely understand on
DP for sure.
Death
Prophet is amazing.
DP Ags is, I'd say, borderline broken. It's very good.
Is it the best? I think it's the best Ags.
Oh, there was someone else's. Who was the best one? It's definitely like number 2. I don't know. I'm a big fan of the Monkey King Ags, I'll be honest. I know we don't see it in all the games where Monkey King's played.
But you can't go Aghanims first. On Death Prophet, you can go Aghanims first. They get the silence, Apo.
They've got more than enough damage, bringing in Paparazzi as well. I mean, Gambit, they've gone for this smoke up top, but there's nothing else. Oh, they're going to get him on the way back. Is he going to bring the gyro with him? Does he know? Let's see. No, Fade's smart. Doesn't bring anyone back with him. He goes in on his own, knows it's very likely. They have those wards around there as well. So yeah, they did see Gambit heading over. So Paparazzi is going to be fine. They were smoked, yeah, you're right. But he knew.
He knew.
The spidey senses were tingling.
This is not really where Gambit wants to be. They want to be a little bit more ahead here. This is 3K behind.
Smart,
this is a smart
Yeah,
move.
they've seen the play down bottom. They killed off the IO. They go into Roche. They know that Vici Game is going to have to make the slow movement across the map to get here. And Gambit can do this very safely.
Knows.
They've got the bear.
They're not killing it fast enough. Vici's going to make it there in time.
They're not losing HP, though. They have all their ults. They're full HP because the bear's tanking.
That's a Warlock dream place to fight, though.
Yang's in, but they've got the zip fall from Alpha Ninja. He's going to look towards Yang. Yang turning towards Alpha J before they've got the silence as well. There's the Golem drop. They've already killed off one. The Beastmaster's out and down for 30 seconds. They'll turn towards Immersion. Homing missiles upon him as well as the Golem. Alpha Ninja trying to find someone on the backlines, but he just doesn't have the damage to outdo the sustain and heal that Vici Gaming's lineup has. As they'll now move into the pit with 2 dead on Gambit, Vici Gaming can walk in, take the Roche, get the Aegis on Paparazzi, and Gambit get absolutely nothing.
That is so
It was a risk. And it was one that I think, you know, in that situation, Gambit had to take. They were behind. You had to go for that Roche attempt. But as you say, it just wasn't quite quick enough. A few things were missing. I mean, Dahak, it was only sort of 300 gold away from like the rare link, maybe with that extra bit of damage. Things were, if they were slightly ahead, they may have had the speed to take it down, but they didn't. Vici Gaming's ahead, and they're going to be even further now. 6K advantage, 10-5, coming up to the 20-minute mark as well. We'll see if Vici Gaming is able to secure the majority of those bounty runes. But they're playing it fast, and they're playing ahead, Vici.
Feeling extremely concerned for Gambit now. I'm thinking that their window may have just been completely smashed.
I mean, yeah, that Roche was definitely sort of we got to try this, and if this doesn't work, well, we've got to really start, you know, going back to the drawing board and thinking from square one.
Yeah, just like now it comes down to split push and hope. Like your game plan kind of went out the window. You wanted to be ahead at this point in the game as Gambit, and you wanted to be getting that Roche, and you wanted to be having the tier 1s all down and pressuring tier 2s, and that's not the case. Vici was able to hold them off. His gyro is enormous now, and he also has an Aegis. He has a full Aegis for himself. The 3 cores are super farmed. There's a mech finished on the IO, so they have this insane amount of sustain around the fights. Looking very tough for Gambit now. It's only 5K advantage, but it feels much, much larger.
Yeah, once Ori has his Ags, it's you know, he's easily going to be able to stay at that top of the net worth there. The speed that the Death Prophet's able to safely farm, the damage that's going to be coming out in these team fights, it's going to be ridiculous. And now with that Maelstrom done on Paparazzi, you know, this is obviously the benefit of getting that Ags face. You can still go for the good old Gyro Ags Maelstrom and have it at a very good time.
Yeah, I mean,
especially
now
with the laners at the start that he had.
Now with like, there's no XP talent or anything on IO. That's probably what the other thing there. Like, IO hitting level 20, that's gonna take 35 minutes. You know, like
but they don't
our
want
timing's advanced.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool approach by Vici, and it's working excellently as they're just kind of like playing their game. They're all like playing, of course, with the split. The IO gyro separate on one side of the map. The other 3 kind of travel together and wait for fights to happen because they can counter initiate so hard onto Gambit. Gambit does not have burst damage to bring down a hero quick enough. Especially not into this mech. And Aegis now.
There we have
There's the eggs.
Ags done on Ori.
Nearly the pipe finished up on Yang too, so he's gonna have a pipe. Plus they have a mech. He's only got the hood now, but he'll be getting closer and closer. And I'm seeing very limited damage coming out from Gambit. Radiance plus Storm if they get the back zips, if they can take out the IO instantly. That is the one good thing that they do have that we didn't actually get to talk about too much, is that they have the vision aspect to get into the backlines a lot of the times, but these frontliners on Vici are just so terrifying. Like Centaur, Gyro, and Death Prophet now at this point, they're too tanky.
I don't know what Gambit's best players. I mean, they obviously have Dahak getting a lot of farm, but you know, the problem with this hero, I feel we've seen this hero just really suffer as sort of games go on recently. The Lone Druid, if the enemy's got the way of killing it, and this lineup certainly does, they have a lot of damage. They've got a lot of things that work so good against that bear being on the front lines. You know, he's going to be fatal bonded with the rest of the team.
Exactly.
You're going to have an easy flak target, so it doesn't matter if everyone's sort of keeping the distance, running away. If you're putting the bear on the front lines, Paparazzi's going to be hitting it, flacking off it, hitting the rest of your team. Like, what does the bear do? The bear seems more of a liability than a strength for Gambit right now.
Yeah, I mean, the Spirit Siphon, right? You just Spirit Siphon the bear in a team fight, and you're going to be pretty much full HP, super fast, no way that you can be able to burst through that. And yeah, like you mentioned, the Fatal Bonds.
Yeah,
a Fatal Bond to the bear, that is going to really hurt your team if you do get connected to it.
Like at the point where maybe this pair just sort of has to focus on split pushing and sort of avoiding fights. But at the same time, once you have the Radiance, you do want to be involved. But
I think they have to.
It's not going to do a lot.
I think you go for split push with your he's going for the Aghanims. Go for split push with the Bear and try to catch people with your Storm split push Beastmaster. Right? You have the ways to do this kind of split push catch game on Gambit now, but that seems like it was like a secondary plan.
And Paparazzi just is absolutely massive. The BKB is pretty much done. They have the full pipe on Centaur, so...
Yeah. Pipe mech now finished up, so these damage... I was already talking about Gambit having limited damage now.
Yeah, because not only the Bear's useless, but the Radiance is pretty useless now as
nice
well.
Orchid by FO. Ooh, Silence does miss by Ori there.
Able to get out and get away. Grab himself the haste rune too. And he just hasn't been able to find the targets. And I think, yeah, definitely, it was an oversight of mine at the start when I was saying, obviously they can't... It's hard to kill the Storm, but yeah, you're absolutely right. Who does he kill? Who does he zip on and kill?
It's like he wants to kill these backlines, but killing Warlock... Warlock is actually one of the tankier support heroes because he has this ridiculous strength game.
Good stats, yeah.
Yeah, and then Io also... Io's going to be paired with Gyro all the time, so he's going to be boosted, and he has a mech.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was the one thing I was concerned about, is this sustain versus the Storm Spirit. If there's not the disable that coming out from the supports, there is the sustain.
Yeah, it's just to sort of how you look at the numbers. The amount of mana that Afro Ninja has to use to get enough overload procs and get a kill is, it's more than it's going to allow him to have enough mana to safely disengage after he's got someone. Because sure, yeah, maybe he can kill someone, but he's going to have to use his whole mana pool for it.
Bear getting shredded again here. There's a missile on it too. They're keeping it slowed down. They're going to want to kill this one. They know it's a resummon. There's not going to be a Bear for a bit after this one dies. Oh, actually, it's back up already. Just kidding. So we'll have a Bear up after this one, but they just keep getting gold for this.
Still easy gold. 300 gold going the way of Paparazzi's Jara. And this Jara, we've obviously seen a few teams showing how good it can be. And Vici Gaming, they are absolutely one of them. I think after this, the way that they laned it, this is definitely going to be a series where you will not see Jara IO be allowed to Vici Gaming again.
I mean, they got it in the third, fourth. Oh, Yang just solo killed Afo.
And they're going to get immersed by the looks of it. Oh, no, it does go for the TP out, so he will get away.
Yang
The Storm dying to Yang. This
he had vision on him, so he just gets to jump.
Looking like a bit of a train wreck now for Gambit.
Yep.
This is Vici Gaming outclassing, outplaying, and definitely outdrafting the heroes they have in response to Gambits. It's making the Lone Druid look weak.
Yep.
The Storm, they got baited like I got baited maybe. They saw, hey, it's a great Storm game. They can't kill me, but you can't kill anyone.
Yeah, the sustain game, just the group. I think that's what I was talking about. It's like I looked at the push from Gambit, but I looked at the team fight, and Vici's just like, let's just fight, nonstop. We always will be able to win fights. This 5-position Brewmaster will die. The Brewlings will just die.
And the push is just so strong, the free racks. And this is...
They're trying to get split push, though, we see on the top lane.
Let's see what they can do with it. They are up to the tier 3s on that top. Move in. FNG and Immersion being pushed back. Vici Gaming, we'll see how they respond to that top push. As Dahak and they're taking a tier 3. The racks are falling pretty quick. There's a roar on Paparazzi Gambit. They will get the top melee racks.
All right, look at that. I mean, everyone on the side of Vici doesn't want to fully disengage because there's a Storm Spirit that just respawned on the side of Gambit. They just started running backwards, and Gambit took that.
They got the melee rack.
That was excellent for them.
We said they had to play the rack game.
Yeah, they did.
And they did. They know. They don't want to have this Bear in the fight. They've got to look for the split plays. Now, sure, Vici Gaming still very much with a lead. They got the full set of racks. They got the mid lane racks. But the fact that Gambit were able to do that in a game where they have very much been forced into a very tough position, it shows that maybe they could still outwit Vici Gaming with these split push plays.
Perhaps. I mean, now Shrines are open, right? They can look to take out Shrines. I believe the Aghanims Bear...
Get back in.
Yeah, Aghanims Bear should be online pretty soon, so he can just send the Bear to go kill that by himself while his team looks and pushes out lanes. So, yeah, little bit of breathing room, but we are still seeing they can't take the fights. That's the problem.
And it is still very much the problem that you looked at the speed that Vici Gaming took that mid-racks, that you could say, well, they could, if Gambit do try for a split push play, if they do just 5-man mid, again, with the Exorcism, they're going to take tier 4s and they're going to take the Ancient.
They could just end the game.
They can absolutely just end the game still, Vici Gaming, with a mid push.
With Exorcism, overcharged Gyro at this point, they could look to do that.
And that's definitely what they're looking to do. As as we say, with the itemization, Paparazzi, it really does make sense. In their mind, this was not going to be a game where IO gets to level 20. It was going to be a game where they just wanted it over and done by 30 minutes. They don't want to sort of give this Storm the chance to get back in and get on top. They just want to run him over.
Got also a Glimmer too on Fade, level 15. So he's matching the levels of the Gyro.
Yeah, with the Glimmer and the mech, as we say, he's just really impossible for Alpha Ninja to get any sort of quick pick in the fights.
Now how do you kill them? Now killing the backline's even harder. They're starting to get the more defensive items. Sure, you've got Hawks, so you're keeping tabs of them. Keeping tabs of them is great, but can't really make those moves. As we see the split push instantly coming out. They're just trying to take out bottom here. As Vici sets up their top, and they have Exorcism up pretty soon to knock on that high ground here. They're going to have everything available for themselves.
Yeah, Paparazzi, the amount of money he's got, this butterfly is going to come at a ridiculous time.
See the Shrine go down. The Hawks 1,000 away from that Aghanims. They're starting to set back up, though. They look like they want to actually prepare for the split push rather than go for that high ground push. We do have a Roche early respawn, too, coming out. So Vici will probably scout that one out pretty soon and then look to make a play around there after they push out bottom. Let's see, Ori. Actually, just all joining down bottom. Okay. Just wanting to protect their IO
away
Gyro.
From the pit. Yeah.
They know it's up now, though. They're pinging it. So maybe they're going to just smoke all the way up there anyway. Because they've got bottom pushed out now.
They might look to just play it safe, smoke, get a kill.
Smoke, just fight.
Then
I mean, their fight is just so strong.
They could just fight and then go down mid. They don't necessarily. The rest depends how safe they want to play.
Yeah.
They want to just try and force buybacks after getting a pick there. That's certainly a good option for Vici Gaming.
They have a DD on AFO. He's only level 17, though, close to level 18 on the Storm Spirit. So that'll help him quite a bit there for his mana to be able to get into those back lines. Vici's still looking to hunt after they pushed out. They pushed out bottom very far, though, so they've got the lane in a good position.
And they were able to get over to the secret shop of Gambits and complete the butterfly on Paparazzi.
Okay.
So he's now got a butterfly ready for this Roche fight.
Uh-oh. No way, Gambit. Don't fight this.
They can't go for Roche. They
the
sort
one
of have
ward.
to concede it.
It spots the Hawk.
He's going to pop the fear, but he actually misses.
He messed up.
He's able to run past it, Yang. He's just straight in on top of the main hero. There's no sort of fear or sendback from the bear. So Dahak gets taken out. 50 seconds without that lone druid.
He tried to recall the bear, but he actually used his fear on his hero instead of recalling the bear and then using the fear. I don't know if he gets away there anyway, but that is very painful. Yang walks
there's
with
no
pure
threat
confidence.
to Yang at all. Yeah, even with the three of them here, Yang does not care. There's no way that they can kill the Centaur.
Starting to go down here, may actually drop to these creeps.
Oh! Let's go. One HP! Oh!
Deny it.
1 HP. Deny it. Deny it.
They've got the that's like one of the first soul binds of the game coming out. Doesn't really connect and do much of anything, but they do kill DY.
1 HP.
1
The
HP.
range racks still stand. Send that bear in. Just go for someone needs to go on some sort of suicide mission. Just run at the racks.
It's just the range anyway, so
it's money.
Yeah, it is money. That's actually important. That's true.
Get that money.
Now they do have BKB on AFO, and I believe level 18 is finished up on him. So he is ahead of the Gyrocopter, at least in experience there. So he can, now he has like a little bit more freedom because he doesn't have to worry about the silence in particular. And actually just BKB in charge and focus that back line. But he does have to have a reveal. He has to have like a dust or something on him or have his teammates near him because they have to watch out for those Glimmer Capes on those supports. If he's going to full commit and does not have reveal, it's going to be really sad to watch the fight when he goes for the back line.
I mean, even if he does, it's
still tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, still hard to kill them through the pipe as well as the mech.
Pipes, Lotus Orbs.
Yeah.
Now Vici Gaming, they'll go in. Obviously, I mean, spotted out by this Hawk, but not that it matters. There's nothing that Gambit can do about this. This is just going to be a quick and easy Roche for Vici.
Yeah, Aegis and Cheese now. Didn't have the damage to go through their cores once. Now going through them twice.
Right, he's got the Axe on the bear, so Dahak once. He could send that bear on a little mission to push that range racks over the edge.
God, every time I see that Aghanims from Death Prophet, I'm just like, wow, it's so insanely powerful.
It's good.
It's so
it's
powerful.
definitely up there. I swear there was someone else that was another really good Axe. No, maybe it was DP as sort of
That one was my winner for me for the patch. I was pretty sure. Unless I'm really sleeping on one that I forgot right now.
It was DP Monkey King. There was someone else that was also pretty top tier.
I liked Grimstroke, but it's like you don't really have the ability to get it ever.
Sure, yeah.
Unfortunately. They're just in such a comfortable position. They're just pushing out the side lanes in particular here right now, because mid's going to naturally push because they have that Rax. The Bear is going to look to do some type of split push here.
Oh, I remember the other busted one.
Which one was it?
Clinks.
Oh yeah, Clinks is pretty strong. The Dragon Lance.
But then I guess Clinks, we don't see Clinks in competitive, really.
No. It has a long cooldown is the thing. And like you get the talent a little late, right? You get it at 15, the minus 30-second Skeleton Army cooldown or whatever it is. The blink in forward by Ori aggressively, looking for Afterlife.
See if they can save him. Immersion's trying his best, but there's already a relocate coming in on top of him. Fade bringing in paparazzi. Immersion's out of it. Old Aqua JB4 will turn with a roar. Does manage to get himself away from Ori. See if he can actually survive. He's running them away. Is there any sort of split play coming out at the same time from Gambit? It doesn't look like it. They're just going to lose 2 heroes.
They got the Shrine with the Bear. That was the one thing they got during that. But yeah, losing 2 heroes. And now Vici's got a natural move to go for that high ground. The back door is about to kick in, though. Very soon.
I was going to say, have they got any creeps? No. It's all
They're just
pushed
killing
out.
it. They're trying to kill it right through the back door. Doesn't seem like it's happening just yet.
I mean, they probably could, but it would just take a long time. Like, they do have the damage, but it's going to be very slow. Yeah, I mean, they don't have ridiculous sort of building damage.
And they probably know that Gambit has glyph. So it's like you do that whole push and then they glyph and you're like, oh god, it completely countered out. So see the Bear starting to get spirit siphoned up. It will.
I mean, I guess they can do, they do have a lot of means on Gambit to just cut creep waves, whether it be sort of sending the Bear out.
You have to be able to take a fight. He can always focus on
sort of cutting one. And then obviously with the Storm Spirit as well, Alpha Ninja can get in position and without worrying too much about being caught. He does have the BKB, so
yeah.
So they have got a lot of ways to just keep those creep waves pushed out away from the base, which is buying them time. But
it is.
What is it sort of buying them time for?
Hoping that Afo gets big enough to be able to some solo carry Storm Spirit that goes crazy. I don't know, but
the Storm's got to carry this.
Still very hard. You have to be able to take a fight eventually. Like you can't just infinitely split push versus an IO team. It's going to be too difficult as the silence does connect.
Get the timing, but there's that BKB, and he's trying to get some hits onto the center. I think he's just best interest to just get out of there, as you're not going to do anything to Yang. But he's out and gone.
Full BKB on Ori now too. He is super safe, and they're looking to take a fight down bottom. Ori Boots of travels down to join them, and it is a quick kill onto Afterlife.
Yeah, paparazzi just racking up the gold on top of this butterfly, 5,100.
This is a really rough game for Afterlife. I haven't seen him have such a hard performance in a while.
It's a rough game for Gambit as a whole.
Yeah.
They just haven't been able to get really much done at all. They were looking to sort of find that split push opening to find that top racks, but to be honest, I don't think VG Gaming cared. They probably knew it was going to go down. They were like, we can let them have it. We don't need to worry about that lane. Just keep focused on our game plan. Keep the pressure on this mid and bottom. As they'll move into the tier 3, there's a buyback available.
They can't touch the cores. They just cannot touch any of it. They're just
on top of FNG. Silenced. Is he even going to get a chance to get out of here? He has been glimmered, but the stun from the homing missile holds him down. He does not get a chance to get the split off. He has got buyback.
I see someone pinging tier 4s on Gambit.
I mean, Dahak's up top. He's going in with the Bear. We'll see how much he can do. He does not have a lot of irons for it. Bottom lane, the Primal Split's being used. They're trying to keep Vici Gaming preoccupied here. Put the Beastmaster back in, but the melee racks have been taken. Up pinging. Top, the range racks do go. See what more Dahak can find up here. He's already TPing back. He's TPing back. He's keeping the Bear out on the tier 4 tower, but the bottom lane of racks has been taken. Bear does manage to do half the damage of one of the tier 4s. So definitely keeping that split push stream alive, but overall, base of Gambit certainly in the worst position. Immersion keeps himself alive with that glimmer. It will zip in with the roar as well. Golem gets dropped down onto the Beastmaster. Old Aqua JB4 on the retreat. Homing missiles heading his way, and with the beat down from the Chaotic Offering, he's dead. He still has his buyback. Top lane now, the focus swifted towards him, and indeed they tap out. They tried their best to come back in with some sort of split play, but it just wasn't enough. Vici Gaming just ahead at all stages of the game, and very much giving us a masterclass in that Gyro IO performance from Paparazzi and Fade. I don't think that's getting through the draft again this series. It looked pretty unstoppable.
You're getting that in your third, fourth picks, your IO, your Gyro. You already have great setup. You have your Centaur plus your Warlock. I feel like Vici didn't really make many mistakes in this game.
They made it look very easy. They made it look very easy. Yeah,
very simple. They followed the recipe, and they just took fights with their heavy team fight lineup, and Gambit, they needed to come out better in those lanes. This bottom lane needed to do much better. They can't have Afterlife that far behind versus a Gyrocopter.
Yeah, that really was absolutely just perfect execution from Vici Gaming, from the draft to the play to the shot calling. It was just all smooth. There was really no point of that game where you're sort of saying, hey, Gambit really do have a significant chance. Sure, there's even at that point where they sort of rat a racks when they're behind, it's like, well, there's something, but is it going to lead to anything? They can defend a little bit. Is the game ever going to change? No. They were just so far ahead.
It's like, if they get the Roche, maybe they have a little bit more of momentum and stuff, but taking fights, still impossible. They're never going to be able to take a fight versus that lineup unless they have something dominant happening in lanes, and that just didn't happen.
It didn't happen at all. Vici Gaming taking a very easy game 1. Gambit's got to come back with some new strats in game 2, and certainly got to try and take away some of the strong strats that Vici had. This Gyro IO, I think, has got to go if Gambit want to have a chance this series.
We'll see if it goes in game number 2 of the series. But as Fogg said, you know, you gotta want to fight, or you can't take fights. And when you're Gambit, that's kind of your theme, fighting. We all know Gambit, and we love them because they fight lots. But they couldn't this time around.
Not at all. If you want to win a game, you have to win at least one lane, I think. And they didn't succeed.
That does help.
Yeah, that usually helps. I guess they evened out the lane with Centaur, the Lone Druid versus Centaur, but at the same time, they could have done a lot more with Wisp and Gyro. I don't understand why, because Gambit, they're one of the first teams that I noticed. Nasty combinations, and your life will be easier.
And this was but the last time it looked good for Gambit. They first blood for the Storm Spirit, the bounty rune, and then he died. Yeah, and then it was kind of their game.
No, this was surprising.
That's it.
And that was it.
That's it.
I don't know why they decided, hey, because you see that Warlock is there, because he gets a heal. Like, let's go kill the tankiest person there.
It's so
even
low,
though
though. It's so tempting.
That there's a Warlock with an ulti right there.
I guess they got him so low.
What? No, they didn't.
But then,
well,
no, they didn't. 40%, I guess.
Yeah, but for Centaur, that's still not.
Yeah.
I don't know. They had a heal on it. That was a big question mark for me. There were definitely a couple of disconnects.
I think also what really did not work for them is the Storm Spirit after the laning stage. He opted not to go to the woods and just farm and get out of the woods with like higher levels and farm. Instead, he tried rotating, trying to get some kills, but he never really managed to make anything happen. We saw some disconnect on the bottom lane with the Beastmaster roaring the different target, Storm going for the Wisp, not getting anything done, Afterlife dying afterwards.
And then he tried to get that solo kill in the DP with the DD and couldn't get that either, so just a lot of wasted time for Aflin and trying to make that big play. It's definitely a high risk, high reward, but he found no rewards.
And later on this whole draft, you have the Storm and the Lone Druid. They don't scale as well as Dead Prophet and Wisp Gyro. You just don't have the damage to kill them. The bear itself is just going to die every single time. And that's why they opted to just try to rat, try to go full alliance on them, go on the side lanes, get Aghanims on that bear. But once you do that, as soon as Dead Prophet gets travels, you're done. She ports back, repels the Lone Druid from split pushing, and then just travels back towards her team. Like, this is it. This is when they started ratting.
Yeah.
They did get that one side, melee racks, but it just wasn't enough.
And I don't think IO hit 20 this game, right? It might have been close. Maybe right at the end. But either way, I think that really shows why the Aghanims is just not necessary. It's not the way that you really want to think about this hero at this point.
You mean Aghanims from Wisp?
Yeah, from Wisp. Like, going from 15 to 20 is just way too brutal on that talent to want to rely on that. Buy your Aghanims and think of it more of as a potential bonus for someone like a Warlock or someone who might get an Aghs later, but realistically, I think the GPM talent might just be more valuable now.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of those changes that made Wisp not completely broken anymore.
Yeah.
So.
But with the lineup that Gambit had, I mean, the game was going to be difficult once Storm didn't absolutely win his lane, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that like the kind of like this lineup works if Storm goes crazy?
I agree with you, but at the same time, I think you had to have a better lane versus Wisp and Gyro, because Grimstroke and Beast should do much better there. Like, that's also a big issue that they had.
They came very close to getting a couple kills, but they just
got outplayed.
quite finish it.
They got outplayed on that lane. That's it.
So it wasn't necessarily the draft that made this game so difficult for Gambit. It was more that they got outplayed.
I would say it made it difficult. I would still say, like, I do think that it was more likely that Vici would win based off of the drafts, but it certainly wasn't impossible. They just didn't play up to the standard that was required to win this match.
It was easier to execute, I suppose, for Vici.
Yeah.
True.
It was a little bit of a beatdown. I mean, it was nice that they still had a chance with the ratting, but that was not their main strategy. That was like a not even plan. That was plan C.
Yeah, you don't want to be setting records on Lone Druid Agnum's timings. So it's like 32 minutes Lone Druid Eggs. It's like, that's not usually a good thing. Yeah. Because I don't have all these other items that I want.
Yeah, he was trying to go for a Desolator later on to make that split push even faster, even better, but it was a really, really hard thing to do that late in the game and that far behind.
It really was. But it seems also like it wasn't really their strategy. Like it didn't feel like Gambit was very comfortable playing what they did.
I didn't see immersion that game.
Yeah,
That's
used
again,
to seeing
that's
immersion
not a good
do
sign.
Really well.
That's again the point that we made during the draft, right?
Yeah.
You want to see immersion on these heroes that are tanky, bulky, they're in front, you know, they're these brawling type heroes such as Tusk, such as Earth Spirit. That's what he plays the best. When you give him something like this, he does have some farm. You see Atterlance, Glimmer Cape, and Forestaff, but a position 5 would have that as well, you know, like he's not necessarily pushing his limits with these heroes.
And he can't leave the lane.
Yes.
He has to stick with a Beastmaster, so he can't help mid, he can't help top. So yeah, winning lanes is where it starts, and that's something they did not do. And it feels like, I mean, maybe just a warm-up game. I don't know. I don't feel like we saw Gambit just now.
I
They
like some of the
haven't
stuff
woken
I
up yet.
saw from VG, though. Like, I think Death Prophet is a hero that is a little underrated right now.
Yes.
Still feel like that hero's kind of crazy. She's
That
just,
new Agonist is really good on her.
it's
I like
unbelievable.
it.
I mean, I've seen, it started with, like, FaZe Yule's eggs, and then I saw a couple of the Chinese teams doing FaZe Voidstone back for the eggs, and now we're just FaZe eggs. It's just why get anything else?
In some games, I think it's good going FaZe Ags because you can justify it if you're in front.
Yeah, I
But
think you got Yule's this one. But
and if you have some heroes to save you, but if you don't have heroes to save you, going for Ags first can be really problematic because they can still jump on top of you and blow you up. You need that resetting tool as that Prophet.
It is a sign of just how ridiculous that eggs is. There's some
Definitely.
DPs that are even willing to go for the straight eggs. You know, like it's on that same level as the gyrocopters to how much it accelerates your gameplay and just, you know, it lets you be a hero without your ultimate, which is something that she has always struggled with.
Yep.
Okay, this Yang Centaur. All right, 4-0 now, right?
4-0, yeah.
Incredible game. He solo killed
kills
Storm
the
at some point. That's
Had a
pretty
good lane
sick.
as well. Like didn't really suffer at all versus Lone Druid. Played really well overall.
I liked in the like 1-0 and 4, just casual. Still just helping to win the game. I like the part where he's just walking at 3 Gambit heroes and they just run away.
That's all they need to do. He was at the front line every time when they were waiting on the high ground to see if they could possibly, you know, sneak a kill on a support going for a bounty rune. Nope, it's Yang. Run, everybody. That's all we need to do. I think that, yeah, did
It's just a strong hero right
real
now.
well.
Helps you out afterwards with that Stampede, and in the laning stage, it's just very difficult to deal with, even for a Lone Druid. FNG didn't really have the best performance on this Beastmaster, couldn't really see the impact, but that's partly because this Beastmaster was countered by so many heroes. You have the Flak, you have that Prophet ulti, those pandas, they just disappear. It doesn't matter that you use your split.
I think when you're playing that support brew too, like you're trying to use it offensively, where like you're all sieging a tower, and the second they try and commit to a defense, you
just
pop
pop
the
that
brew
ult,
ulti, you get rid of the fatal bonds, and then you can kind of go in. But when you're playing defensively as that hero, if you pop the brew split and they just retreat like with a stampede or something, then that's a pretty good trade for the enemy team considering the cooldown of the split.
They tried that. They tried attacking the tier 2, the one you mentioned.
Yeah.
They go on the tier 2, they pop the brew ulti, but then they're still weaker because there's Warlock, there's Stampede, and they have to retreat. So what do? You cyclone one target and that's it.
And then you run or you die.
Exactly.
One of the two. It was a rough game for sure. Not really the hype matchup that I was hoping to see, but we always have a game 2
That's right.
for that. And perhaps even a game 3 if Gambit does manage to pull it off. But we're going to find out if they can in the second game of the series, which will happen after the break.
fulfilled.